Cause enough time God buff me, you know. Enough time God call me say, Anika, you know, say a foolishness you're doing it, and you know you're not supposed to do it, and you're still doing it. But thank God for grace and mercy. Hi hearing youth, so I'm so happy to have you joining me for our next video. If you have been a part of this family for a good while now, then welcome back. And if you're new here, a very special welcome to you. In this family, we seek to go, glow, and grow in God. So you must have been intrigued by the title, hence why you're here. So let's just get right into this video because I have quite a lot to tell you. Let's start by setting the foundation first, because not only do I have to actually tell you about my high school journey, but I actually have to include being a Christian while I was on that journey. Now please bear with me, because to remember all of this, I had to dig really deep in my memory box. As far as I can remember, I gave my life to the Lord 4 years before starting high school, so I was in grade 3 at the time. Now, after graduating from primary school, I was placed at my first choice, the Bishop Gibson High School for Girls. If you're in Jamaica, you should know about that school. It's a possibility that you know about that school, and shout out to all those who are a student of that school or you're a past student. So first form, or as some would call it, grade 7, it was one of the hardest years of high school for me. I entered a new environment. I was nowhere close to having a relationship with God, and so it's like whatever little winds blew me to conform to the negative pressures of school life, trust me, I was swept away by it. I really entered first form with the mindset of just wanting to fit in. Like, I was in a new environment, I had to make friends over again, and I was really willing to do anything to be a part of the group of students who were classified as popular in my class. I was fighting to stay on the path of being a Christian, and I do believe, if I remember right, that all my classmates knew that I was a Christian. Like, I was most times the person to like have devotions in the morning, like pray before exams and all, but my I was so far from God. Peer pressure came from all angles, and to how much I was just interested in fitting in, my grades for first form, they weren't so good. Like, I was going through a lot of changes in my personal life, so I think that really affected me negatively in actually trying to adjust to everything. In second form, things started to improve just a bit. I was somewhat more focused as it relates to school and my academics, but my relationship with God was still on a limbo. I started to go through more changes physically because, you know, puberty stepped in. So like, this was the year I started to now develop more feelings for the opposite gender, and boy, that was quite a roller coaster. Seeing that I was going to an all-girls school, it made things like way easier for me, but actually still struggled. And by that time, I was trying to find my identity, like, who is Anika? Where do I belong? I was doing better academically, but I was still just going to church for going to church's sake. And I still didn't understand what my true purpose was as a child of God. So during that same period, another struggle came in, and that was based on what I wore to school events. You know, as a Pentecostal, modest skirts and dresses is what we're supposed to wear, right? Well, for the Pentecostal church I go to. But when I went to certain events, certain school events like sports day and certain other things, most persons were in jeans pants. Like, you could say 99% of the school, just 1 or 2 other persons you see in a skirt. At that point, I started to feel so weird. I felt odd, and if I wear a skirt, I would get a lot of questions as to why I have to wear a skirt. And that was all because I just didn't fit in. I look so different from everybody else wearing a skirt. Of course, the peer pressure came again to conform, but I had nothing but skirts and dresses, so it's either I would wear the skirt and ignore the odd feeling, or I would just wear my uniform to avoid all the questions. The summer after second form, I went to my church camp and I met someone that attended Bishop's, and she was just a year ahead of me. So you know who was excited because they got company. So in third form, I started to take my Christian walk a bit more serious. Just a bit more serious. I was doing exceptionally well academically, and at that time, I realized that the favor of God was really on my life. I was more active in my church, but my relationship with God, it was still on a low. It wasn't where it was supposed to be. Well, in my mind, it was a fight not to fall into the trap of the enemy. Many times I did, but as I said in my last video, thank God for the persons that were in my life, especially my mom, that said, Anikia, get up. Anytime I fall, anytime I mess up, they were there for me. At some point in third form, I met a friend. We attended the same church. Oh, we became very close. We had similar standards and values, and we actually helped each other to meet the rest of our high school journey, one to remember. So of course, we'd spend days talking about God and walking from school together during lunchtime. I was a year ahead of her, but that didn't stop us from being close. We'd talk about the struggles that we face, and know that we both knew that we weren't alone in striving to live for God. We felt less pressure. Just like any typical high school, we had quite a lot of school events. We had concerts, we had pageants, and so that was a next struggle. It wasn't so major, but it was still a struggle. Like the music that was played at those events was nothing near godly. We would start off with the gospel songs, and then the other songs is a total different thing. So I had to filter a lot and try not to get carried away in the whole excitement of everything. Every secular music that came in, most persons knew it. Come out today, you go to school tomorrow, you hear everybody in a class singing it. And when I saw a person singing the song, and I didn't know one thing, and I started to understand at that point that I wasn't called to fit in. That's when I came to realization that it's okay to be different, and God doesn't want you to be a part of all of this. For most of the events, a few of my friends and I would actually sit in a classroom and talk, or we'd find something to do just to avoid the temptation of engaging in all that was happening. Even though that was a struggle, I thought the pressure of comparing myself to others rose up. Now remember, I went to an all-girls school. So when I saw certain physical changes in other females and I wasn't looking anything close to them, I started to develop low self-esteem, and that led to me looking for love in the wrong direction. So that was a next struggle. That did follow me through high school. So you might be wondering like how I overcame that. It did follow me through high school and a bit after high school, but a few years after, up till this point, I've really learned that. I learned how to overcome that, and that true love can only be found in God. So fourth form was when everything just started to change up. This is the time when we get more serious because we have exams, CSEC in fifth form, so we have to start selecting the subjects that we really want to do, SBAs and all of that. And if you're from Jamaica or the Caribbean, you understand the whole CSEC thing, right? We had CSEC recently, we are having CSEC now actually. All the best to those who are doing CSEC, by the way. So yes, in fourth form, I was more involved in school. I was in several leadership positions. I was quite active. And that was the year I became close to another Christian. We're from the same denomination, but we're still close. And shout out to her if she's watching this video. It was during that time that I started to understand my true identity. I was no longer questioning so much who is Est.Her. I was no longer interested in fitting in, and I started to learn to embrace who I was as a person, and that I was different from everyone else, and it wasn't in a bad way. Even though all this positivity was there, I still faced a lot under the surface, and I was still struggling to hold on to God. A part of me wanted to engage in certain things of the world, and another part of me wanted God. I remember getting depressed in fourth form, and looking at it now, I believe that because the devil saw that I was slowly overcoming many things, he was placing a heavier pressure on me so that I could actually give in. I messed up a lot that year in God, and not many persons know half of what I went through, but certain things I did could have literally cost my life. The summer after fourth form, I went to camp, and this time I was so determined to start making a change as it related to my Christian life. I was tired of messing up, tired of giving in to temptation, tired of being tired. After that week at camp, there was a slight improvement in how serious I took my Christian walk, but I still went back to giving in to certain temptations. Now, that same year, I got involved in Bible quiz as well, and I started to realize that God actually had a greater purpose in store for me, and He wanted me to read His words more, not only for the Bible quiz competition, but really to have a closer relationship with Him, because God see and know, say, I really want to serve you, but just that, when evil presents itself is another story. So, of course, fifth form, all the excitement. That was my last year of being at the Bishop Gibson High School for girls, after all the experiences I had in the previous years of high school. Some I couldn't even mention in this video, but I became a stronger person mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And throughout my tenure, my faith in God was really tested. My ability to remain humble in certain situations was tried. But looking back, I'm really just grateful that God didn't cast me aside because of the many times I disobeyed Him and lived wayward. Because enough time God buffed me, Enough time God called me, say, Est.Her, say a foolishness you're doing it, and you're not supposed to do it, and you're still doing it. But thank God for grace and mercy. If you are in high school, I pray that me sharing this video with you and sharing my experiences and how I actually overcame them, I pray that it will encourage you to become a better version of yourself. The struggles are real, but so is God, and if I was able to make it through, then you can too. The temptations will come, the pressures will come. You may have or will give in to some of them, but really don't let that stop you from getting up and trying harder to live according to the Word of God and to shine your light amongst your classmates and your schoolmates. And yes, I graduated from Bishops with a number of values that were instilled in me. It wasn't an easy journey, but it was worth it. The experiences I had during high school, it has really helped to mold me into becoming the young lady I am today. I'm wiser, stronger, and I pray that as the Lord continues to inspire me through sharing these experiences, that you will continue to be blessed. So we have come to the end of another video, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you have not yet done so, please to subscribe. Continue to go, continue to glow, and continue to grow in God. Bye.